Hi, and welcome to mypsychiclifestyle.com. Being psychic, it's not what you think. Hi, my name is Angel Morgan, and I'm the host of Raising Energy on Rogers TV. You can catch me every day on Rogers Cable 10 in Durham, Orillia, or in Georgina. And if you're not in those areas or you don't have Rogers TV, you can catch me every day on rogerstv.com/raising energy. I connect to animals, angels, guides, guardians, and loved ones who've crossed over. On my show, you can expect the unexpected. Only on Rogers. Hi, and welcome to mypsychiclifestyle.com, our very first episode. Now, what's really cool about this show is it's based on our blog. And our blog is a bi-weekly blog that talks about everything psychic and intuitive, which covers pretty much every aspect of life. And on this show, we're going to be having guests, and we're going to be having segments where I will be talking about all kinds of different things. And I'm Angel Morgan, by the way. I will be your host, and I'm a psychic. I am an intuitive who's been doing this for 16 years and loving every second of it. And we're going to be discussing some of my passions, which are animals, and inspiring people and empowering people through their own intuitive abilities. And that's really what this is all about. What this is all about is connecting to ourselves in our everyday lives to not only better it and enhance it and open it up, but also to better those around us. And one of the things that I've learned is that when we work on our own intuitive abilities, when we work and hone our own psychic selves, and not the frou-frou psychic selves, and I'll be talking about that a little bit later, but that intuitive part of us, that gut feeling or that, sixth sense, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it and are comfortable with, I'm totally cool with, that not only benefits us, but it also benefits those around us. And I love that notion. And recently, I have really seen that in action because it's been years since I myself have taken a class. And this, for me, all started with my original Reiki master years and years and years ago, who I have since caught up with. And now she has decided that she is going to be teaching some more classes on advanced energy work. And I thought, you know what? This resonates with me. And as I've been opening up my own abilities, not only as a psychic, but as a healer, I've noticed that it's really enriched my family life. It's really affected my family. I've noticed that my boy, I have a 15-year-old boy, is so much calmer, more focused. And I find that even my partner, who is an amazing, amazing human being and intuitive himself, even he seems different to me, easier to talk to and communicate with, and just seems lighter in so many ways. And he's already awesome, so this just makes him that much more awesomeness. And in this particular case, I use this for myself as a practicing ground so that I can talk to other people, and you, my podcast listeners, with experience. Because I don't like those people who are armchair psychics and armchair occultists, if you will, and energetics, who actually haven't worked on a practical level. And that's something I've been taught about since the beginning. When you are working with somebody, even as a child, I was taught that. My dad used to say to me that you have to do something for at least a year. Actually practice it. Train with it for a year. Number one, to find out if you even like it. And number two, to really begin to understand it. And when you start to apply whatever it is you're doing, whether it's psychic work or dance or any kind of, music or whatever talent or gift you choose to explore, all of a sudden you have this practical knowledge, this visceral knowledge that makes you someone who becomes an expert in your field. And I'd like to think that I am somewhat of an expert in my field now that I've been doing this for coming on 16 whole years. Probably the only real job I've held down. Actually, that's not true. Where I started was a little store, a little curiosity shop in Newmarket, Ontario, which I absolutely still adore. They're my family. And I was there for 9.5 years. I trained under them for 9.5 years. And what does that mean to train to be psychic? What does that mean to, train as an energy worker? Well, it means a lot of things. For some of us, it means taking classes. For others of us, it means going away to places like Peru and working with medicine people. I'm very fortunate. I've not only been able to go away to work with these people, but they've actually come here to Canada where I'm located. And I have been very fortunate. I will go to a ceremony and they pick on me. They kind of go, okay, you know what? We would like you to come up and work with us. And I end up training with them. And I always seem to fall in the right place. And others of us will train under the guidance of spirit guides alone. I know people who've never taken a class. They have been very specifically trained by spirit. So if you're listening out there and you're asking yourself, am I psychic? Can I do this? Absolutely you can. Absolutely. Some of us have this little thing turned on when we're born, and it's up on high. If you think of a radio tuner or volume on a radio, it's up on high. But just because ours is up on high doesn't mean you can't turn it up on high. It's like a muscle. John Edward is my favorite psychic. He still is. And I used to watch his show Crossing Over, and he used to talk about the whole idea that our psychic self is a muscle. And it's something that you have to grow and strengthen every day. And he's true. He's really, really truthful about that, because I've noticed that the more I work with people, the more I work with animals, the better I become. Like any other skill, like any other job, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer or even, the guy who picks up the trash weekly. These are actual skills. Like these people know what they're doing. They know their routes. They know the neighborhoods that they work in. And it's a beautiful, beautiful skill. So I love the fact that I get to work every single day. And for me, I feel that if you really want this, it is something that you can open up to, and you can open up to your skill. So then the next question becomes, how do you do it? And it's really not as abstract as you think it might be. Really, it's not. When I started, really started, I was the kind of person who was very homey. I came from a family that was very conventional, didn't go out very often, went for a trip every once in a blue moon, very, very kind of blue collar family. And I met someone who was an outdoorsman. And the second he took me into nature, the second he exposed me to mountain biking and, skiing and hiking and all these wonderful things, all of a sudden I started getting these wicked cool dreams and these visions, and I started seeing things. And of course, at first it freaks you out. I don't care how gifted you are at first, unless you come from a family that's nurtured you this way, it's going to freak you out. And so it should, because the reality is it's not something that is commonly seen by people on a daily basis. It's just not. And you don't grow up going, hey, Mom, guess what? I want to be a psychic. No, you don't do that. You grow up and you say to yourself, I'm going to be X, Y, and Z, and then this begins to happen to you. Or you grow up with these senses and they're so natural, you don't even realize that you have them because they're so natural to you. I have a friend, when she was a little girl, she would draw pictures, and her mom came to her one day, she goes, I don't understand why when you draw things, there are always lights around people. And she said, well, Mommy, she said, I don't get it. Don't you see the lights around people? She said, no, I absolutely don't see the lights around people. And she goes, what? And it really freaked her out because she thought everybody could see them. And it turned out that she can see auras. And she's very, very gifted, even to this day, in the ability to do that. So it's so natural for most of us. We don't even realize we're doing it. We're always looking for that Harry Potter, great big bang, and, the phoenix taking off, and, the Patronus coming out of our wands, and that kind of stuff. And granted, I'm not going to lie, I'm sure some people have seen and experienced that kind of thing. My reality is magic and psychic work is meant to be natural. Even healing work, it's meant to seem natural. Our human minds can only take so much. If we were to see Harry Potter's world in front of us right now, I don't think we would be able to register it. It's like taking someone from Shakespeare's era and placing them in our year right now, and it would freak them out. I really think that would freak them out. I think it'd even cause a heart attack. It would be complete terror for them because they don't understand it. Their brains wouldn't be able to comprehend that large of a dramatic and drastic change. And I think if people started wielding that kind of information, magic, energy, or whatever you want to call it, so blatantly and so openly, I don't think a lot of us could handle it, to be perfectly truthful. Now, how do you go about really experiencing the openness? How do you go experiencing the journey of becoming a psychic? Well, we're going to take a break, and when I come back, we're going to talk about how you actually do that. So when we come back, stay with us. We're going to talk about what you can do to open up your psychic and intuitive senses and eyes. Hi, and we're back to talk about everything psychic on mypsychiclifestyle.com. And in the last segment, I promised you that we were going to talk about how to become more open to your intuitive abilities, become more psychic. I'm not one to be frou-frou fluff bunny. That's just not who I am. And one of the things I tell people is that this kind of work is not rocket science, or I really wouldn't be doing it. It's an innate part of who we are. It's a natural part of who we are that keeps us balanced. My sister is what's known as a dream messenger. She gets messages from family and friends who have crossed over, that kind of stuff. And it's a really, really cool ability that she's never had to hone. It's something she's just naturally gifted with. But at one point, it became so scary for her that she asked, I don't want this anymore. And spirit, lesson number one, spirit doesn't work for you and you don't work for spirit. You guys work together. So because that is a fact, you get to set your boundaries. So if you say to your guides or guardians, angels, whoever it is you choose to work for, or with, and that can be anybody, because sometimes you don't know who your guides or guardians are when you first start. All those of the light who want to work with you. Lesson number two, you can say all those of the light that want to work with me right now. You can ask them to set boundaries for you. Look, I don't want to work with, my thing is kids, like kids who have crossed over. That's a tough one for me, especially being a mom. That can be very, very difficult. For my sister, she didn't want to dream anymore. So she's like, you know what? No more dreams. I don't want to see and have these premonitions and have this information come to me. And so it stopped, or she doesn't talk about it, but mostly it's pretty much stopped. And that's her choice. But the point of this story is that you get to set boundaries. That is the first thing. And number two, you don't have to be made to feel uncomfortable. So the reality is that you get to be safe within yourself and safe within the work. And what does that mean, really? What that means is you can turn around and go, you know what? Whoever is here, if you're not of the light, go away. You are fully in control. When I first started, I started out working with energetic healing. I didn't go straight into psychic work. And what was really, really interesting was that as an energy healer, I was very much taught that not only do you create protections around you, but you have the right to say enough and no, and asking questions. That is lesson number 3. So lesson number 3 is ask questions. If a spirit comes in or something is happening, you get to turn around and go, okay, so what's going on? My favorite, clarify. One of my other favorites, which I say on my television show, Raising Energy on Rogers TV, little plug there, show me what's going on right now. Who are you? What am I feeling right now? Or why am I feeling, or why am I being given this message? You are allowed to ask. That is a very big thing. You are allowed to ask, what? Who are you? And if it's not comfortable, go away. Really, seriously, go away. And sometimes you actually have to put your foot down. No, dude, in charge, me. It's me in charge right now. You have to go. And normally they will. Spirits will, energies will. Your guards and guardians, you can call on them. Archangel Michael, this spirit doesn't want to leave. Can you please help me? How do you find out, number 4, who your guides, guardians, angels, archangels, spirit guides, who are they and how do you find out about them? Well, that's a whole episode in itself, but just as a basic tool, you can turn around and go, whoever the light is out there, please present yourself to me so that I know who you are and who I'm working with. And if you have a name, that's even better, right? So, and a lot of times they will give you a name. So you can go into meditations and ask for your guides and guardians. For those of you who get a lot of dreams or know that you can dream walk, know that you are lucid dreaming, again, a whole nother episode in itself. You guys can actually ask before bedtime, listen, when I go to sleep tonight, I want to meet my guides and guardians. I want to meet those of the light who can help me to open up my abilities. Now, anybody can ask that. I'm just saying dream walkers, dream messengers, people who lucid dream because it's just easier for them. But normally what I do, because I don't do a lot of dream work, I'll have, and I know it sounds cheesy, but it actually works, half a glass of water to 3/4 full glass of water before I go to bed. And because in our brain, we have these neurons that need to connect and they need to be hydrated in order to connect. The water helps us to connect them, which gives us clarity even as we sleep. I know, it's pretty cool that the physical aspect of ourselves has to be taken care of in order for the supernatural, emotional, spiritual self to be activated. Where do I get all this funky information? 16 years, ladies and gentlemen. I've had amazing mentors, I've had amazing teachers, I've had amazing spirit guides, I've had amazing experiences that I now wish to share with others to teach them. And that's really the whole point of our blog, mypsychiclifestyle.com. And this is the whole point of the podcast, mypsychiclifestyle.com. So it's a theme here. It's everything psychic. So those are few tips as to how you can manifest, open up your intuitive, trust your gut a little bit more. And my favorite learning, so lesson number 5, because I believe that's where we are right now. Lesson number 5 is dismiss nothing. That is a huge thing that we do. We hear ourselves say, you know what? I am so hungry. And then what do we do? You know what? I'll eat later. I'll eat later. We dismiss it. We act on our feelings, our emotions. We act on them so flippantly and we dismiss them so effortlessly. And because we learn to dismiss how we feel in those minor moments, when we have bigger moments, like our gut is telling us A, B, and C, we dismiss it. That is what we do. So instead of dismissing your everyday life, one of your practices can be from now on, hey, you know what? I'm going to act on how I feel right now. And in acting on how you feel, what's going to happen is you're going to start having more psychic experiences because you're going to learn how to, that all-time abstract word, trust. Because the reality is trust is very, very much an abstract to many of us. What does that word mean really, if you think about it? And that word really means to listen to your truth. What is my truth? What am I feeling right this minute, today and now. And when we start to listen to that, not dismiss it, oh my God, things start to fall in place like magic. And we actually think it's magic. Like some sort of God has blessed us with some sort of fortuitous rhythm in our lives. And yes, they have. Okay, I'm not going to say they haven't, but we are co-creating that. And that's important because that goes back to one of the previous lessons that we were talking about, which is, and number one lesson, which is you have a posse to work with. You have a posse that is there to help you, there to guide you. So again, it's that whole idea of asking, being connected to that. Right? So when you connect with your truth and you connect to that part of you, you can hear more your own higher self, your guides, your guardians, and you fall into this rhythm and you can co-create even better, faster, stronger. You can manifest for yourself, get information for others. You can start to play in the spirit realm. And what's really awesome, what's really cool is we are now in a time where this is totally acceptable play. Thank you, Harry Potter. Thank you, Avengers. Thank you, all those superhero movies out there, which again is a whole nother episode that you guys do not want to miss. We get to explore our superhero powers in a way that it feels safe, feels good for us, that is accepted. I have rarely, if ever, had anyone not accept me. And then that becomes the final lesson. Acceptance. This is who I am. Take me or leave me. And those who love you, they're going to take you, right? And the reality is the more you accept you, even those who don't love you will still be on board, because there are people that have absolutely no idea who I am. But the second I say, hey, you know what, I'm a psychic, they're like, oh, cool. And if they back off a little bit, that's fine. I know a gentleman who's one of my best friends. I finally told him I was psychic, and he goes, oh, and he got all uncomfortable and weird. And that lasted for about a week. But he loves me for me. So I am acceptable, whoever I am. So you are acceptable, whoever you are. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about mypsychiclifestyle.com. Being psychic, it's not what you think. Hi everybody, it's Angel. Did you know that I have a main website, raisingenergy.com? And from that website, you can access all kinds of great things. You can find out what kind of services I offer, from psychic readings to animal work to energy work. And you can even access our other sites, like my blog site, mypsychiclifestyle.com, and my animal specific site, angelmorganpetpsychic.com. And if you're on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, you can follow us there too. It's amazing what you can get from our website, raisingenergy.com. So there you have it. These are some of the fundamental tips of how to become a psychic. It is a lifestyle. It is a skill, and it's something to really have fun with. I think that's really the most important thing is, you know what, just have fun with it. Allow the energy to move through you. When we talk about getting out of our own way, we're talking about speaking our truth. We're talking about dismissing nothing. We're talking about our sense of play. The more fun we have in life, the more open we are. Now, there are those people who are very heavy energies, serious energies, responsible energies, and they have amazing abilities too. It's all dependent on our personalities and who we are and how we're made. That is the truth of the matter. So my reality is the last question that remains would be, why do you want to be a psychic? What is it about psychic work that really turns us on? Well, for some of us, it's touching the unknown, knowing that there's something out there beyond us, knowing that there is something so much larger than us that we get to explore. It's kind of that Star Trek thing of being able to explore other worlds and other galaxies. Well, that's pretty much what we're doing with our psychic world, is exploring the spirit side of who we are. And that's a really amazing capability to have. It's an amazing openness to have, and wanting that awareness only enriches our lives. I mean, really, as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, why not? I mean, really, who doesn't want to talk to a dog? Who doesn't want to talk to a cat? Who wouldn't love to talk to a horse? And who out there wouldn't have some fun talking to one of their own ancestors, or, Albert Einstein or Cleopatra? Not to say that you can tap into that. Most people can't. But the reality is, it's just the thought of it is fun. And that's another reason to do it. Just because it's fun. Just because it's something to do that satisfies your need and your craving to understand something a little bit bigger than yourself. And it helps you understand... I'm so sorry. It helps you understand yourself better too. With these intuitive opening ups, we start to have insights about ourselves. This is really important. Knowing our likes, knowing our dislikes, knowing what our boundaries are and our value systems are. I know people who are psychic that are highly religious, so it really doesn't even make a difference what religion or culture you're from. Psychic ability is an innate part of who we are. The way I've always described it to people is, I am a computer and you are a computer. We are biocomputers and we network together. So when we network together, I download all my information to you and you download all of your information to me. Only difference is that I can read the programming and I can read the information. So if I'm having trouble with reading that, then I go to my proverbial IT team, my angels, guides, guardians, all those of the light, all those who love me on the other side. And then they go and they troubleshoot. They get the information for me. They figure out why I'm not getting the information, or they fill in the blanks of the information I am getting. Then they download that back into me, into the biocomputer, the programmer, and I give that to the client, which is you. This is a really simplistic way of looking at it, but it's a very accurate way of looking at it, because if you really look at what we are complex human computers, and we're beautiful. We're technological wonders, biotechnological wonders. And when utilized correctly, we can do anything. And I don't care what anybody out there says, as long as we know who we are, accept fully who we are, our goods, our bads, our uglies, our dreams, our sorrows, our flaws, the mistakes we've made in life. All of a sudden, we get this beautiful picture. And this beautiful picture allows us to know ourselves more deeply, which allows us to understand our truth, which allows us to connect to our spirits and our higher selves, which allows us to connect to guides, guardians, angels, archangels, and, our IT team, so to speak, all those of the light. It's a pretty amazing thing. So, with each episode, I'm also going to leave you with a little bit of a tip or something you can go away with that you can work on in yourself. So here's something you can work on with yourself. Tonight, before you go to bed, you can close your eyes and you can do what's called I ams. Or my favorite way of doing it is when you wake up in the morning, before you open your eyes, because your subconscious is wide open, you can program your day with I ams. So I am psychic. I am fully in awareness with my intuitive abilities. I am beautiful. I am awesome. I am successful in every aspect of my life. I am healthy. I am fit. I am wondrous. I am having an easy and effortless day. That's my favorite one. And also, I don't bump into things, and I am not a klutzy person. I don't like to put things in the negative. So I am less klutzy today than I was ever in my life. That's a big thing. I'm a Gemini. So I ams are very important, because when your subconscious is wide open, What happens is you can program anything. But the second you open your eyes, you're fully now out of your subconscious mind, out of your alpha, your beta states. And what happens is the conscious world takes over. Your day walk takes over. Now you're looking at your mirror or your dresser or your day, your disheveled self. This is one of the reasons they say in Feng Shui that you should never put a mirror in front of your bed, because the first thing you see is the energy you take with you during the day, which I truly and utterly believe. So my reality for all of you out there is that you are all psychic. You are all intuitive. To what level, that depends on you, your interest, and what the universe opens up for you as well. If this is your path, it will be made known to you. If it's your path just for your family and friends, it will be made known to you. But the reality is it's a time when we are accepted, and this type of work is being explored. So I encourage everybody out there tonight, tomorrow, and in the future, explore it. Nurture yourself, nurture your children, simply by being outside in nature, enjoying life, and speaking your truth, because that is what connects your innate abilities. Next time, we'll be talking so much more about what it entails to be a psychic and living an intuitive lifestyle. In coming episodes, we're going to be talking about intuitive and psychic children. We're going to be talking about food and how that affects our psychic lifestyle. We're going to be talking some pet talk with experts and with guests about all kinds of amazing things. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about too, cleansing, clearing, protecting, and grounding. Again, fundamental things when we are on this beautiful journey that is my psychic lifestyle. Have a great day. Have a great evening wherever you are in the globe. Remember, being psychic, it's not what you think.